Here we go. Hey everybody, Dr. Dane Donahue here, and I'm super excited to do this brief interview with one of my mentors and somebody that I just had the pleasure of sitting through his talk at the International Health Symposium, where there were literally hundreds and hundreds of people in his talk absorbing the information that's in that brain. And I'm just amazed by the wealth of knowledge that this man has. He truly is not only a friend, but somebody that I really rely on clinically. He's absolutely made me a better chiropractor. And Robert, this is Dr. Robert Silverman. So Robert, thanks so much for being here.
Dane, thanks so much for having me. It was great. And I appreciate, you introducing me. You did a great job. And I also had the honor of introducing one of the finest docs in chiropractic and functional medicine in Dr. Dane Donahue, who also spoke to a very large crowd and motivated them towards health. So good job all around.
So, I feel very honored to have you on this 8 Weeks to Wellness team, Dr. Robert. You've spoken at many of our events. And, as a third generation chiropractor, nobody really has to sell me on the value of chiropractic care and the spine and the nervous system and its role in health and healing. But I think that we've come to a real point in society with people that if we're not addressing their lifestyle and functional issues in reference to the foods that they're eating, the sedentary lifestyle that they're living, the dysbiosis they have in their gut because of all the toxins in our environment, the stress that they're chronically under and how that affects the immune system and their gut as well. It's almost impossible, I think, today to get people truly healthy. And that's really what our job is as doctors, is to really offer a different and alternative approach to people than what they're getting, let's say, in the medical model, because they're not going to get health care from sick care. As we always say, you can't be in defense and offense at the same time. And so we're trying to teach people a proactive offensive approach to their health. And you're one of the guys who has really helped doctors to be able to understand, the dysregulation that happens in our patients and the things that we need to do to really get them healthy. So maybe can you speak just a little bit? I know you're going to be speaking. We have our event in Washington, D.C. You've spoken many times at our events. Our doctors are always blown away because one of the things I love about you, Dr. Robert, is that you can take this high-level, very scientific information, and everything that you talk about is referenced in your talks. So you take these studies and you take this information and you bring it down to a level where doctors can understand it. And as you like to say, you like to bridge the science and the application. That's kind of one of your main objectives. But can you talk a little bit about why that's so important in today's environment, that we really do not poo-poo the functional medicine? I don't really even like to call it functional medicine. It really has nothing to do with medicine or pharmaceutical. It's really a functional wellness approach. But why is that so important for today's chiropractor?
I agree with you on the terminology. Functional medicine, we don't do medicine, and there's nothing negative to that. You like that functional approach. I say functional nutrition, personalized lifestyle if we want, not medicine. It's critical to us because when you really think about it, chiropractic's all about what goes on inside the body. It's fixing the body and giving the body's own innate pathways to allow to elevate to good clinical health and good clinical outcomes. And of course, our chiropractic treatment, like you said, you're a third generation chiropractor, is there. You incorporate in your 8 Weeks to Wellness all the adjustments, soft tissue, exercise, movement screens. So the other component that you've done really great, and a lot of people have me talk about, is adding the lifestyle nutrition component. And that's a critical element because as a chiropractor, and I treat people chiropractically also, if people's sugar levels are too high or intake is too much, they're not going to get healthy because sugar is a toxin. If they're eating gluten, it means glue. It damages your intestinal tract, sets you on a cascade for inflammation, damaging joints. Lectins now are the big things. Lectins are direct binding sites to tissues. So if you're allergic to a pea and a tomato, they have damage to your body, but to different structures. Like I said, they're direct binding. So part of what we do, and I think you and I have talked about it so many times, is we want to take the mechanical and chiropractic and bridge it with the biochemical and put it together. And I think that's where we are in chiropractic. And I think you encapsulate that in your 8 Weeks to Wellness better than any other chiropractic system.
So let me ask you this. My good buddy, Dr. Joe Tilley, always says this, and I just love it. He says the first 4 letters in the word health, H-E-A-L, spell heal. And our patients have a healing challenge. And I would say the majority of people that we're going to see in our communities have a real healing challenge. So you're going to be talking about this at the event, but give us the top 2 or 3 healing challenges that we're going to see people present with. And obviously that altered physiology or the dysbiosis that you talk about, or the autoimmune challenge that a patient has, or the neurologic challenge that they have because of lack of movement in their physical structures. Give us a synopsis of what are some of the 2 or 3 challenges that patients are going to present with that you're going to talk about that we can address Monday morning after the seminar.
I agree with you. I think autoimmunity is it right now. I think autoimmunity is where we're seeing all the conversations. So the gut-to-brain axis is without question a point of autoimmunity. Even moving and bending our backs in an improper way versus a hip hinge leads us down a path of autoimmunity. So let's expand on a couple of those ideas. Again, we've got to take care of our gut. We have to have good gut health. As you saw, the literature now dictates probiotics are good, but probiotics after we heal and seal the gut lining seem to be much more effective. And that's a huge takeaway. That actually changes the order in the matrix of what we've been taught because of the new literature. So that's something that we want to look at. Everybody's gut health. 80% of our immune cells are in our gut. It's where our macro and micronutrients are absorbed. What have you done for your guts lately? Do you have the guts to be healthy? That is chiropractic. So I can't fix somebody's lower back and shoulder and neck if I don't also fix their gut. So we've got it. We as chiros, we've got that mechanical locked. And you're enforcing that with all the different multivariate modalities that you're doing. But to look at the gut and really be precise in the order and the heal and seal of the intestinal tract is a critical element. To expand on the idea of bending at your lumbar spine versus your hip.
Let's just take the last one, because one of the things I was sitting front row in your talk that I absolutely loved, and I'm sure you're going to be speaking at, first of all, you said, do you have the guts to be healthy? But you also said the road to good health is paved with good intestines, not in good intention. And I love that. I use that a couple times with patients yesterday. But also you talked about the 7R approach to healing the gut. And it was just fascinating. We don't have time to really speak about it, but I know you'll be talking about that 7R approach to healing the gut. And so, for example, a lot of docs are just throwing probiotics at people, but like you said, if we don't heal the gut first, that's like throwing seeds on like very infertile soil. Those seeds are never going to germinate. So we've got to heal that mucosal lining and understand what's damaging it so we can remove the toxins that are causing the inflammatory bowel disease, that are causing, the tears in the intestinal mucosa that's leading to leaky gut. So these are all just little nuances, but you can't just throw probiotics at people anymore. You've got to heal that gut, and that's something that you're going to be discussing.
Absolutely. You just can. And so many patients can get a probiotic, and that's why you come to these seminars. So we are their coach, we are their doctor, we lead them. It's not just about buying a supplement. It's about directing the patient to get the outcome during the right timing. So the 2 biggest R's were without question to remove. You want to remove all the bad bacteria. You remove things from your diet. You also can consider removing via detoxification. Just get all the toxins out. So when you look at that, that's a pretty vast R. And the one that you keep speaking about, which is great, is regenerate, repair, heal, and seal. You want to close up the gut lining. You want to make sure it's only semi-permeable and not too permeable, because anything that passes the gut leads us down a path of autoimmunity. When you talk about movement, when you bend at your lumbar spine and at your hips, because I know you talk a lot about hip hinging, when you bend at your lumbar spine, you're actually ripping your collagen. Ripping your collagen releases all these biochemical inflammatory markers. So the mechanical or the improper movement of mechanical is now into biochemical, and that's why we as chiropractors are married between the two, and nobody better than us, because really, a lot of the functional medicine great, but they don't do as much mechanical because it's not their orientation like it is for us.
Sure. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm super excited, like I said, to have you present. You're always one of my favorite speakers because, again, you just give practical information. And I tell you, at the end of the day, I think what we get paid to do as clinicians and as doctors of chiropractic, we get paid to help people overcome their health challenges. And when we do that, people refer other people. People heal up and their health ripples out into their life and they become a better citizen. And so that's really what we're trying to do as chiropractors. We all got in this for the right reason. We want to help people in a drug-free approach so that we send these people back out into the community as healthy citizens so they can go out and do what they were, put on this green earth to do. So, super excited to have you, Rob. You're always, like I said, just a great coach and a mentor to me. And I can't wait for not only the doctors who have heard you come back and, relearn the information, because learning is remembering, and we can always kind of be exposed to new information and ideas because you're always updating it. But also the new doctors who have never had the opportunity or the blessing to hear you speak. I'm super excited for them to be there in Washington. It's going to be a great event. We have Roberto Monaco speaking, who I know you know very well.
Great.
Mitch Malley speaking on adjusting techniques, specifically the shoulder and the cervical spine. We have myself speaking and just a lot of docs speaking, but this is truly a practical event. We run 8 Weeks to Wellness. It's a integrated approach. It's a great approach, and I know you've been involved with 8 Weeks to Wellness for a while. So in closing, any last parting thoughts?
Well, one, I'm really happy to be there, and I agree with you. The list that you said, not just me, thank you very much. You're going to get to speak superstar, Roberto, Mitch Malley, and the like. That's really great. What I love most about seminars and the feedback that I get, especially from your 8 Weeks to Wellness, is that the people, the doctors who come, are revitalized. And, so much, you get back to the drudgery, and it's difficult with the insurance model and everything like that. But you're offering, not just the ability for your patients to respond, it's also a better way of life for the doctor, because we have to start taking care of ourselves. And that's one of the things, everything that we're going to be talking about over the weekend is not just on a patient. We have to start with ourselves, our own family and friends, like starting our practice, and then pass it on, because, we give the greatest asset in the world to everybody, health, because health is without question wealth.
No doubt. So I look forward to seeing you guys. Please go to our website at learn8ww.com, learn more about the event. And we'll be posting on Facebook, so you can follow me at Dane Donahue, or please connect with Dr. Robert Silverman. And Robert, your website is drrobertsilverman.com, right?
Yep, drrobertsilverman.com. And we do a lot of Facebook stuff with Dane, and we'll be printing out some topics pertaining to the 8 Weeks to Wellness lecture.
Awesome. So thanks for your time, Robert. Really appreciate it, buddy.
My pleasure. Thanks so much, Dane.